Students, we will start the meeting in another 2 minutes. So if you want, you can share the link with your friends. Quickly ask your friends to join the meeting as soon as possible. We will start the meeting in another 2 minutes. Anuradha sir, you can start the session.
Okay, sir. Right. Good evening, everybody. So here we will be discussing one of the important sections once again. And this is one of the exact questions today we are going to discuss in the question paper. So before starting, I'd like to introduce you the structure paper and what section we are going to discuss here today. And in our history paper, we have two sections like the Sri Lankan history and the world history. So when we take the Sri Lankan history, we have 6 questions. Now, first question is compulsory. We cannot guess anything. We don't know what will be coming for that. But second question, third question, fourth question, fifth question, 6 and 7. These are the 6 questions that come from Sri Lankan history. For all of these 6 questions, we are answering only 4 questions. So here when we take these 6 questions, 4 questions are given from grade 10 and 2 questions are given from grade 11. So that's how the questions may come. Then, when we take world history, 8 and 9 questions will come. 2 questions only. You're answering only 1 question out of this, altogether 5 questions. So that is how the structure of the paper. So when we take the world history, now today we are dealing with the world history. So I'm going to introduce you one section here out of these 4 lessons that normally they can give you world history questions. 8th question is actually from industrial revolution or Renaissance. So industrial revolution is one of the first lesson of grade 10. Oh, sorry, 11. So grade 11, first lesson. And Renaissance is the 9th lesson of grade 10. So high probability is there to come a question from industrial revolution. So there is a high probability. Like we have past papers from 2016. So out of these papers from 2016, we know that nearly 4 or 5 years they have given a question from industrial revolution. Very rarely they have given a question from Renaissance. 9th question is given from grade 11, world revolutions or world wars, or sometimes from both of the lessons. So we know world revolutions and world wars, they are the lessons from grade 11. So this is the 7th lesson of grade 11 and this is the 8th lesson of grade 11. So this question is exactly given. Now remember, you have to select the question. All these 2. So that means industrial revolution, Renaissance, world revolutions, world wars. So here also this is an exact question. Sometimes industrial revolution may not be given because if a question from Renaissance comes, industrial revolution would not be there. But this 9th question, world revolutions and world wars, that is exactly there. So that means if you get ready the lessons here and you can write answers successfully for that question, get full marks. So what are the, now we are not going to talk about world wars now today, that will be discussed in a future seminar. So here I'm going to talk about the world revolution. So when we take world revolutions, there are 3 world revolutions that we are going to study here. So American War of Independence, French Revolution and Russian Revolution. So until now, they have not given a big question from American War of Independence. So that has less importance. But French Revolution and Russian Revolution regularly they are giving. So normally French Revolution and Russian Revolution comes for the exam. French Revolution is a question that comes mostly from this section. So that means here, actually, this is one of the important sections. So you should know about French Revolution very clearly, that means to answer the questions from French Revolution, you should know the situation, background, and everything clearly because it's foreign history. It's foreign history. The other thing is actually, now we have only 5 months for the exam. Now you can't go for theory parts and the theory classes and all those things to get an A pass. So that means you have to go for a shortcut. So that means like joining to this seminars like this or a paper class or a properly planned revision schedule. Then only you can get an A pass because just reading the book, you cannot write answers. There are ways and methods of writing answers that you should know. So that means easily the marks can be taken from history, but there's a method, so that method you should know. Now today I'm going to discuss here the section French Revolution. So I have sent you a link through the website. So there's a slot known as pre-seminar history. In that, the duty is there. Sometimes you might have got it, sometimes you might not got it. However, we'll discuss here about the evolution when it comes to the time of completing the notes there. So, and discussing questions, you can take it. So now, however, there are questions here. I have included to the two past paper questions, all the past paper questions, MCQs and set of questions that have come until now from French Revolution. So after discussing French Revolution lesson, we will be discussing the questions also. Right. However, now here, when we take French Revolution, I told you that you should know the background very well, very clearly, otherwise you can't write answers from French Revolution questions because it's foreign history, not familiar to us. So we have to think about the French society. So that's the time period that kings were ruling France. So kings were ruling France. So we know that in the history, before the First World War, the most powerful two countries in the world were Great Britain and France. Great Britain and France. They were the most powerful two countries in Europe. And all the other countries were below to them, under them. And even they too had some wars in between them. So we call them as Franco-British War. Franco-British War. So this is a 7-year war. 7-year war between France and Great Britain for the supremacy. So they are not fighting for any other thing, for the supremacy to become the first in the world. So the French Revolution happened during this time period. So roughly or simply, what is French Revolution? It is the revolution or the struggle of the common people against the kings of France, against the ruling system of France, against the government of France. So the people struggled. So now here we have to discuss why this struggle was there. Now for the exam, what is important? For the exam, you should know the reasons and the results for the results of the French Revolution. So reasons for the French Revolution, results of the French Revolution may come as a question. How the things happen will not come as a question. So this is something important and this is something important. These two only you have to understand better. But to write that answer, to understand these reasons and results, we should know the socio-economic background in France. The socio-economic background in France only influences the struggle, influences the revolution. When we take the kings in France, how were the kings? How were the kings? Actually, Bourbon dynasty. Bourbon dynasty was ruling France. Bourbon dynasty means that's a system of kings or a lineage of kings that belong in the Bourbon dynasty. When it comes down, the kings became so powerful and they became so corrupt, and they started thinking that the power was given to them by the God. So they use the God-given power. So we call such a power as divine power. Divine power means God-given power. So the kings of France, they were using that God-given power, divine power. So they were thinking that the power was not given to them by the people, but by the God. So that means they were doing whatever they like. So that means the kings were autocratic. The kings are autocratic. So autocratic means ekadipati in Sinhala. That means whatever they like, they were doing. They were not thinking about the people. So kings are powerful. So Louis, Louise, this is how the Louis is written. Louis the 14th. Louis the 14th was the king who became so powerful and centralized all the powers around him and did not think about the people, wanted to enjoy the life, and he spent a luxurious life. And during this time period only that the conditions or the background for French Revolution started. The background was created by this king. So after that there was a king Louis the 15th. So Louis the 15th. So during this time period, the same corruptions were there, and it was continuing. And then it came Louis the 16th. During Louis the 16th time period only, the blasting was there. The struggle started. The French Revolution started, and the French monarchy collapsed during this time period. So this is a very long time period. So that means starting with Louis XIV up to Louis XVI, there's a huge time period. During this time period, there were many corruptions. The kings became so corrupt. So when we take the political situation, I told you that Louis XIV was the king who created the background. He was not having any connection with the people. So for that, we have to learn how the socio-economic structure of France. We know the kings are there. So there are three stages, three classes in France. The first class, king's class, the highest class. The second class was nobles. Nobles means whom they were rich by birth. They were the landowners. And they were leading a luxurious life, too like the king. And they were powerful. And even the priests, the priests, they were also the religious leaders, having money, enjoying life, luxurious life, and even corrupt. Even nobles and priests were corrupt. And the king is also corrupt. So that is second level. The common people were under all these people. Common people. So common people were in the third level. So they were poor. They were poor. So all these common people were under the nobles and the priests and kings, and they were subjected to injustices by the nobles and priests and the kings. And even the other thing is, kings are not having any connection with the common people. They are having the connection with nobles and priests only. They were asking from these nobles how the people are, but nobles are telling lies. And common people can ask about the king only from the nobles, and they are telling lies. So the nobles and priests, they have given a wrong picture about the common people to the kings. What is the condition of the common people in France in this time period? Common people we can divide into three groups. The first group, middle class. For the middle class, they were little bit rich. Rich means not so rich. They were sometimes who had done some trade activities and became little bit rich. And sometimes some of the people who work in industries and became little bit rich. So their condition was bit okay. Then there were slaves. Even slaves are also two types. Sometimes first level slaves, they were, and the second level slaves, the poorer slaves. However, slaves were very poor. Majority of the French people were common people. Out of this majority of the common people, also slaves were the majority. They were working under the nobles, and they were like 92% in the population. 92% like the population were slaves, and their living condition was so poor. And only 8% is nobles, priests, and the kings. So that means the common people in France, they're not enjoying the life. They were suffering. Most of them were farmers. They were not owning any land, and they were subjected to injustices and corruptions. So that is the condition. Because of this condition, only the French Revolution started. However, when we get the French Revolution, so we can, now I told you the reasons. Reasons for the French Revolution is the most important. Reasons we can divide into three categories. What are the three categories? Political reasons and economic reasons and social reasons. So these are the reasons. Political reasons come under the behaviors of the king. Okay, problems with the king, the administration, corrupt administration. Economic means the taxation system. So there were very high taxation system in France. Because of the high taxation system, common people were suffering like now in Sri Lanka. So they could not pay taxes, they were poor, and they had to pay taxes regularly to the king, to the nobles, and to the priest even. So that means more than 60% of their income were paid as taxes, like that. Social reasons are the conditions of the poor people. That means how they were so suffering. So these are the reasons, right? Now we'll go to a presentation and we'll discuss about how the reasons had come. So about the reasons, we'll go to a presentation and we'll see how the condition here, right? Okay, wait. I'm taking the presentation. Right. So this, you can see the presentation. I think you can see the presentation, right? So this is about French Revolution. Right. Now let's see the socio-economic revolution. So what's the French Revolution? So French Revolution is the uprising of the French people against the corrupt monarchy of France in 1789 and the establishment of a new ruling system. So I told you the Bourbon dynasty or the King Louis XIV, starting from King Louis XIV, Louis XV, and Louis XVI, all they were very corrupt kings. And the main influence of the French Revolution, what is the influence? There emerged a great attention on human rights in France, and later it spread into the other countries in the world. So now this is about human rights. This is a time that human rights were not included to the constitutions of the countries. And this is a time period that human rights were not considered. Human rights were not given much priority. So this is one of the major influences. So when you're writing about the results of the French Revolution, you have to write about this influence, the attention on human rights. France became a country with a glory in Europe by the 18th century. I told you the most powerful two countries in Europe were France and Great Britain before the First World War. They had marked a significant development in foreign trade and industrialization. The condition of the French farmers was better than the other countries. But there are political reasons for this revolution. Corrupt administration of King Louis XIV. I told you he was creating the background for this French Revolution. France was ruled by Bourbon monarchy. Bourbon was what? That is a lineage name of the king. So there were many kings belonging to this monarchy dynasty. King Louis XIV was one of the kings belonging to this Bourbon dynasty. And Louis XVI was the time period that the struggle happened, and 14 was very powerful, thinking that he was using God-given power, and he was not thinking about the people. He was really corrupted, and he was enjoying all the privileges. And these were the famous kings in the dynasty. They believed that the kingship was anointed on them by the God. And Louis XIV, all constitutional, executive, and judicial powers were centralized up to the king. So he centralized all the powers, not given to anyone. And even judicial powers, he is the head of the judiciary. He is arresting anyone he likes. That means all his opponents were arrested and kept in a special prison. And this is King Louis XIV. So you can see King Louis XIV there. He was mesmerized by this unlimited power and once exclaimed, "I am the kingdom." Now see, these two statements, they are very important. In the exam, when writing answers, you have to write these two statements to show the power of King Louis XIV. I am the kingdom, I am the state. He further exclaimed, "Whatever anticipated by me is lawful." That means anything I like, I can do. Anything I do become lawful. I'm not doing any wrong thing. Even though he does the wrong thing, it becomes lawful. That means because of this more high power, divine power. Okay, these two statements are very important. We are writing on the feud here, the two statements. So that means they are important, right, in the answer about when you're writing about the reasons. He enjoyed the power to arrest anybody with any lawsuit and imprison for a lifetime. He is arresting all his enemies. The enemies were not kept under a court trial, not taken to the court. As he liked, he arrested all his opponents, and who criticized him had been arrested and kept in the Bastille prison. And then political reasons. Once again, King Louis XIV, he used his power to suppress his personal and political enemies. And they were imprisoned in the prison called Bastille. So what is the name of the prison that all these political opponents were kept? Bastille prison. You can see the Bastille prison. There's a picture of Bastille prison here. So people started the struggle by attacking the Bastille prison. That was the first action people did. They attacked whatever they could capture. They came with whatever they liked. They could capture, attack the Bastille prison, release the political opponents. From there only, the struggle started. Now see the luxurious life spent by the king. So king was just spending a luxurious life. No? Versailles Palace. This is the palace that the kings of Bourbon dynasty were living in France. And the king lived was a massive palace covering several acres. It was full of ponds, flower gardens, and other decorations. He spent such a lot of money to build and decorate Versailles Palace, and only for his comfort. That means only the comfort of king's family. All the luxurious things were done here and spent here. This increased the displeasure of French people. Why? People were suffering. They were not having anything to eat. They were paying high taxes, but the king was enjoying all the privileges and all the luxurious things. You can see some pictures of the Versailles Palace. See, so acres and acres, vast, massive palace with gardens, water gardens, and golden rooms. See, golden passages, golden gate. Even the gate was made with gold. So, what is the use of a golden gate? The use of a gate is protection. For the protection, golden gate, golden passages. So, spend such a lot of people's money for his comfort. He was not coming out of the palace. And see the bedrooms, golden bedrooms. Everything is in gold. So there were more than 100 bedrooms like this. More than 100 bedrooms are there like this in Versailles Palace. And the relationship between the King Louis XIV and people, the relationship became distant because the king lived in an enclosed luxurious palace, leading a separate lifestyle. The general public were not allowed to enter the palace. Then how they were knowing about the king? From the nobles, because nobles and priests only were allowed to come to the palace. Only the priests and aristocrats could enter the palace. The king got news about the country from the aristocrats. They created a completely distorted picture about the country. This made the increase of people's frustrating wrong. So then, who is Queen Marie Antoinette? Now, the Louis XIV that time finished, and people's unrest was growing, and they were becoming against the government at the time of this Louis XIV. Louis XV continued the same power, and Louis XVI, the last king, and the struggle started during his time. He was a very lazy king. He was not ruling the country. He was only enjoying privileges. Marie Antoinette was his wife. Marie Antoinette was not a French woman. She was very proud. She was very beautiful and she was very proud. And she was an Austrian woman. So you can see the picture, a proud lady with the babies here. So she was an Austrian woman, not a French woman. She was unnecessarily interfering in the political matters. She was unnecessarily interfering in political matters, and she made a statement which made people's anger growing. What is the statement that she made? If no bread, eat cakes. If no bread, eat cakes. So that means bread prices are going high. When bread prices are going high, people cannot buy bread, and they were struggling, asking for bread. So when the struggle was there, Marie Antoinette was telling, if no bread, eat cake. So that means that is a kind of insult done against people. And French monarchy consisted of an advisory board headed by the king and a bench of ministers that functioned under the above mentioned advisory board. It was highly corrupt. Local administration was done by aristocrats and they were inefficient. Now see, here we can see in this picture, that is the board of that is the advisory board. And so that the government appointed a group of officials called intendants. Intendants were special officials who were appointed to collect taxes. They were also inefficient. They were also corrupt. Normally, the tax collection authority was they are under the nobles. Now, the nobles and intendants, they started fighting against each other due to the because of this problem, tax collection problem. So laziness of the advisor of the king. So King Louis XVI was having an advisor. He was also lazy. He was Morifa, very old person, 74 years, and he was not bringing any reformations. Even now, Louis XVI wife was very proud, and she was unnecessarily interfering in political matters. Even the advisor was not good. That's why the people came for people came for the struggle. What is the State General Council? This also you should know. Now, King should take the advices from the State General Council. Now, when we take the State General Council, the State General Council is normally, give me 1 minute to, right? Okay. Now, State General Council. State General Council is what? State General Council. So normally, King cannot take decisions by his own. He had to ask of the State General Council when taking crucial decisions. Who are the members of the State General Council? Nobles were there, and priests were there, and even common people were there. Common people were there. So there are the representatives of common people. So after consulting this board only, the king had to take decisions. But People's General Council, State General Council was not gathered for about 173 years from the time of King Louis XIV. Now King Louis XIV also, this was not gathering and not asking anything when he is taking decisions. Even Louis XV did the same thing, not asking anything from the State General Council. Even Louis XVI not asking. So that means this council should be there for the king to get a clear understanding and a picture about the common people and social economic structure and the difficulties faced by the people. But this was not gathered. Now, after 173 years, the members of this council, they did not know the customs and traditions that had to be followed in the gathering. So when they are gathered, there are some customs and traditions. So they will not know it because all new people are there. Members are there for the council, continuously elected, but normally they were not gathering, and king was not gathering because common people cannot enter the palace. When they enter the palace, they would see the luxurious life of the king. And State General Council was also not gathered. Now, once again, going back to the presentation here. Okay, here now see, this is State General Council. So you can see the State General Council like this. Here you can see there are the king here. On top there are nobles here. There are priests also here, and here these are the common people. These are the common people. So for about 175 years it was not gathered from the time of King Louis XIV. Now see, this question can come as a model question. But explain briefly the political factors that contributed for the birth of a revolution in France. So this is the only question that can come from the reasons, but you should know the social reasons also. Priests and aristocrats. So I told you priests and aristocrats were enjoying all the privileges, nobles. And there were three social strata as priests, aristocrats, and general public. Priests and aristocrats enjoyed all the social benefits. Among the general public, there were three groups as middle class, farmers, and laborers. I told you the common people can be divided into three classes: middle class, farmers, and laborers. Middle class were who? They were the people who had become a little bit rich because of engaging in trade activities. But they were under the condition of the nobles. They were not rich like nobles, and they were not enjoying privileges like nobles. The farmers were the majority, and they were working in the lands of the nobles. And laborers were the slaves. They were paid slaves, and they were paid when doing any work in the spaces. The middle class was a group that had earned money by trade and other business transactions. They did not have any political recognition. Though they were bit rich, they were not taken to the administration. They were not joined to the administration. Joining to the administration is a political privilege that the person should enjoy. But common people cannot come to the ruling system. They were not selected to the ruling system. Priests were exempted from taxes and they lived on the tax money of the general public. I told you common people, especially middle class, farmers and laborers, 92% of the population, they had to pay taxes to the king, to the nobles and to the church. But the nobles and the priests were not paying any taxes. They were enjoying the tax money of the common people. They were spending the tax money of the common people. They were not paying anything to the king or to any other section, right? So there was a harassing taxation system in France. They were very rich. Who were very rich? Priests and nobles were very rich. Most of the lands in France were owned by aristocrats, nobles. Some of the privileges enjoyed by them were permission to fish and hunt in any place of the country. Sometimes when they were going on hunting, they were trampling the farmlands of the common people, farmers. They were destroying the farmlands of the farmers and they were going on hunting. And farmers are to go to the grinding mills, wine presses, bakeries owned by the aristocrats. Now that means grinding mill. So normally farmers are growing grains. Grains should be taken to the grinding mill and clear them. So then grinding mills are owned by the aristocrats. Wine presses they have used to make wine, but the wine presses are owned by the priests. Sorry, the aristocrats. Bakeries. So the common people had to go to the baker to make bread. That is one of their main food items. So bakeries were owned by the aristocrats. So when they were using the grinding mill, when they were using the wine press, when they were using the bakeries, they had to pay taxes to the nobles. The aristocrats could collect tax from the lands of the farmers. They were exempted from government taxes. They were not paying any taxes to the king, but they were collecting the taxes of the common people. So all these privileges were enjoyed by the priest and the aristocrats, priest and the nobles. It was the middle class that was educated and rich in French society, yet they did not have proper recognition for their status. All government posts were held by inefficient aristocrats. So that means inefficient nobles. So here you can see priests and aristocrats. Because of this situation, there emerged a concept that one's stand should be measured based on their ability and wealth, not on their birth. Now, when come to the economic conditions, that also you should know. So, economic reasons. French treasury was completely bankrupt. Why? Because of the unnecessary war that France did with Great Britain. Why this 7-year war? They engaged in the 7-year war for the supremacy to become the first in the world to defeat Great Britain only, not for any other purpose. So because of that, the king was unnecessarily using the public money for his enjoyment, for his luxurious life, and to fight with Great Britain for the unnecessary war. So why the unnecessary war? The excessive expenditure for the luxurious lives of the king and his family. Unnecessary expenditure for war. 7-year war with Great Britain and supporting the American freedom struggle. Inefficient tax system. The heavy taxes became a burden for French people. The general public had to pay about 60% of their income as taxes. So what are the taxes that they pay? These are the taxes. Tail tax. What is tail tax? A levy charge on houses and lands of the general public. So the tax that had been obtained from the houses and lands of the general public. Every common person, every slave, every farmer, every middle class person had to pay this tax to the government, tail tax. But the funniest thing is the people who lived in rich cities, the rich people living in cities should not pay the tax. Only the poor people, from the poor people only this tax was obtained. This was different from areas to area. Cities like Lyon and Paris, where rich people were living, they were free from this tax. They should not pay the tax. Only the poor, from the poor people's areas, the tax was obtained. Gabelle tax is charged on salt. What is that gabelle tax? Every adult had to buy 7 pounds of salt every year. Even though they eat it or not, they have to buy. Because salt was something that the government is producing freely. So when they were producing salt freely, actually the no expenditure. When they sell it, that's a big income for the government. The price of salt is different from area to area, but no one can transport any salt from one place to other place because that is prohibited, right? So salt was transported. Salt was not transported from area to area, and however, it was the taxes were expensive on salt. So this is capitation tax, the third tax. What is capitation tax? Everybody had to pay the tax. Everybody had to pay the tax. That means every common person, every farmer, every slave, every middle class person had to pay this capitation tax. Now there are three harassing taxes on people: tail tax, gabelle tax, capitation tax. Tail tax was charged on the land and houses of the common people. Gabelle tax was charged. That means for salt, they had to buy salt unnecessarily. And capitation tax was the body tax. Every person, everybody should pay this tax. And there was an area-based administration system. Laws and taxes are different from area to area. It became an obstacle for the economic development of France. The middle class people who engage in trade had to pay high taxes due to these taxes, laws and regulations. The middle class expected an economic system free from government interference, but it was not there in France. Economic security expected by the middle class from the government was not received. So philosophical ideas, some philosophers came out and they also gave their ideas supporting the poor people, farmers and the laborers. So that's why they were motivated, they were encouraged. One such philosopher was Montesquieu. This is Montesquieu. What did he tell? He wrote in his book, what is the book? The Spirit of Law, explained the harm in allowing one person to exercise the whole power of a nation, and stated that such a condition led to dictatorship. That means he told that one person should not enjoy all the powers of the kingdom. Even though he is a king, king also should not be given entire power of the country. He suggested dividing the power into three as legislature, parliament, and judiciary. So now in every country that is divided: parliament, president, and the judiciary. So he suggested that to be done. And here the second person, Voltaire, he told what? He explained the importance of expressing one's own ideas freely. So that means even though he was a laborer, he was a farmer, he should have the freedom to express his ideas freely. He severely criticized the monarchy and the monopoly of the church. So that means church should not influence on people and the king should not influence on people this much, and there must be a freedom. So that is the idea of the Voltaire. Third person was Rousseau. Rousseau told, he presented the concept people's sovereignty. What is sovereignty? Ability of change in the government. If the king is corrupt, there must be an ability for the people, power to people to remove him and appoint a new person. So that is the idea of Rousseau. Through his book called The Social Contract, he explained that the king must work for the betterment of people. If otherwise, the people have the right to chase away such rulers. However, the closest reason for this struggle was what? The situation arose due to financial problem. So I'm going to discuss it on the board. So what happened here? So there was a people had to go for a reformation. For the reformation, the king had to call the State General Council. The State General Council was gathered for the first time after 175 years. So they did not know the customs and traditions that should be followed when gathering. Nobles and priests, they did not like to be gathered with common people. They told the king, we cannot gather with the common people. They should come gather as a separate group. They cannot come to the palace. They have to gather outside the palace. So king accepted. So king told, okay, common people have to go out and gather and separately they have to discuss, and the king should discuss with the nobles and priests. Common people got angry. The farmers, the representatives of farmers, laborers, and the middle class people, they got angry and they gathered to a nearby tennis court. They gathered to a nearby tennis court and made an agreement. So what is the agreement? Until the king was kicked away, until a new government is formed, we will not depart, we will struggle, we will fight. So that is known as the famous tennis court agreement. With the tennis court agreement only, the common people struggle started. There they started fighting against the government. And at last, what happened? The lazy king, King Louis XIV, had to be fled. So, however, they started the armed struggle with attacking the Bastille prison. So, what is the Bastille prison? The prison where political prisoners were kept. So, they attacked that, released political prisoners, and then they captured the king, and king was killed, and they formed a new people-friendly, common people-friendly government. So, that is the French Revolution. Now, we'll see how it happened. Right, once again through this presentation, right? Okay, now happened. So we have gone up to this one, right? So this one, so this happened. A reformation in tax was necessary. The king had to summon the state general council. There were problems in the agenda, so I think you can see this uh, presentation, right? It was because that the bureau had not met for 175 years. Aristocrats demanded that they and the priests should meet as a noble board. They wanted to defeat the proposals of the lower class. The king also agreed. So what happened? All in the tennis court here you can see the third class called themselves the National Bureau gathered in an indoor tennis court and took oaths to not to dismiss until the new constitution has been designed for France, because the king closed all the hall where aristocrats met. So here you can see the tennis court, indoor tennis court, and they are making the tennis court agreement under the leadership of a person known as Mirabeau. He had come out of the middle class members, the Mirabeau. So there they started the struggle. Attack on Bastille prison. The rebellion started attacking Bastille prison, which was considered a symbol of injustice. Why? Because all the political prisoners were kept in the Bastille prison. And all the political opponents of the king, so they were imprisoned not because they have done a wrong thing. They were not guilty. They were not introduced to a court, and the court was not given their punishment to imprison them. But the king, by his own, he decided to keep these people in Bastille prison. People released prisoners on 14th July 1789. The king could not control the situation. King's power had been lost, and local and regional administration went into the hands of the rebels. Rebels could make the country calm by establishing national security force and rebel committees under the leadership of a person called as Lafayette. So this is Lafayette. King Louis XVI and Queen Antonia, Marie Antonia, the proud woman, the proud Austrian woman, were tried under the leader, rebel, and both of them were sentenced to death. So, however, before going to the results of the revolution, we'll go to the complete the notes. Right. I think I have notes with you because I have uploaded that tune. Right. So that I have uploaded. I think I have it with you. Because it's in the website. We want to take it. Right? Okay, this is the tune. And in this tune, the first thing is we are writing about the slogans of this revolution. So what is known as the slogan? Normally for every revolution, there's a slogan. So that slogan you should know. The slogan of the French Revolution. Right? So the slogan is right, give me the time to take this. Okay, it's coming. Right, so this is the note. I think you can see this, right? Right, so this tune I have uploaded, right? French Revolution. So French Revolution means the uprising of the French people against the monarchy of France in 1789 and the establishment of a new ruling system. So this is what the black color things are in your tune, and the red color things are the new things that you have to know, right, on the tune. If anyone could not download the tune, what you have to do, just write on a piece of paper what is given in, what is mentioned in red color. Later on, you can go to the website, get the tune, and then write. Even if you cannot go to the website, you can just send me a WhatsApp message asking for the tune, and I can send you the tune, right? Slogan of the French Revolution. This you have to highlight the best. Here you highlight this one: freedom, equality, and brotherhood. That may ask as an MCQ. In MCQs, they may ask, what is the slogan of the French Revolution? Freedom, equality, brotherhood. So every revolution or a struggle, there is a slogan. The slogan of French Revolution is freedom, equality, and brotherhood. Now, reasons that affected is very important. So this is something very important. I told you that if the question comes, explain the reasons for the French Revolution. Under 2 headings or 3 headings, if the question is under 2 headings, what are the headings that you are going to write under political reasons, economic reasons, and social reasons? Now, these are the political reasons. What are the political reasons? The divine power used by King Louis XIV. So this is wrong. It must be here actually XIV. And Louis XVI, the 15th. So that is XV. So this is something wrong I have given here. XIV, XV. So they were using divine power. What is divine power? God-given power. They were thinking that they were using God-given power. They were thinking that they are not responsible to the people. They are thinking that people cannot change them, kick off them. So their power had been given to them by the God. So they were using God-given power. So they were not listening to anyone. They were doing whatever they like. They were not thinking about the needs of the common people. And autocratic power used by King Louis XIV. Once again, X must be there. XIV. Okay, make it correct. This is wrong. XIV. So that is King Louis XIV. So autocratic power means the power that he was using without being responsible to any other person. Even he is not responsible to the State General Council. Even he is not responsible to the nobles, not responsible to the priests, not responsible to the common people. He is not listening to anyone. So taking autocratic decisions by his own. And he made 2 statements. So I told you that they are very important. So better to highlight these 2 statements. What are the 2 statements? I am the state, I am the kingdom. Whatever anticipated by me is lawful. When you write these 2 statements, you can say through his statements like this, we can show the divine power used by him. We can show the autocracy of the monarchy, autocratic powers used by him. So he was not listening to anyone. Here he says, and whatever anticipated by me is lawful. That means what? Whatever I do, it becomes lawful. Whatever I do, it becomes lawful. Okay? So that's kind of the statement made by him. Misusing judicial power. What was misusing judicial power? Normally, a person should be arrested now. If he has done a wrong thing, that person should be produced in front of the court. The judges only should give the punishment, not the king. King cannot give the punishment. But when some person became against him, he did not produce that person in front of a court. He just caught them. And what did he do? He just imprisoned them in where? In Bastille prison. In Bastille prison. Okay, arresting political prisoners and keeping in Bastille prison. The luxurious life spent by the king by constructing the Versailles palace with very valuable creations. I showed you the creations now. Bedrooms were golden, passages were golden, even the gate of the palace was golden. It's a massive palace with many rooms and many passages, many buildings, and lot of parks and water parks and luxurious things. And king was enjoying all these luxuries. To create these luxurious things, he was spending such a lot of public money. So the French economy bankrupt, French economy collapsed because of that. So the relationship between the king and common people had been expanded. So that means he was not responsible to the people. People cannot enter to the palace. People had to ask about the king from the nobles. Only nobles and priests were allowed to come to the palace. Priests were creating and the nobles were creating a totally wrong picture about the king to the people, totally wrong picture about the people to the king. The corruptions of the board of ministers and the inefficiency of them and problems occurred in regional administration as the appointment of officials called intendants, who were the intendants, special officials appointed by the king to collect taxes. Normally taxes were collected by the nobles. When intendants were appointed to collect taxes, there was a struggle between the intendants and the aristocrats. There were problems between aristocrats and intendants regarding the tax collection. So now I told you that only 5 months are there. December, January, February, March, and April most probably in the month of May your exam will be there. So because of that, if anyone is here who has not prepared for the exam, I told you only just by reading the book or only just by hearting the book you can't get an A pass. There's a kind of guidance must be there for you to how write answers. Even when you get ready for entire 2 books, textbooks, it's very huge burden for you sometimes. Memorizing everything and reading everything. So there are some shortcuts. So there are some sets of questions that you will get ready to write answers and get successful marks. So that is normally discussed in our paper classes and in our fast track revision program. So we are going to start the fast track revision program next month, the month of December, even online, even physical. So you can join to those classes and you can get an A pass surely. So last time also many people got A passes and they have conveyed me the thanks as well as they have sent me their result sheets. So getting an A pass for history is very easy, but you must be guided well to get that. And there are methods of writing answers, right? And here People's Council, what is it? States General Council. State General Council was a council comprised of nobles, priests, and even the common people. And when king is taking a crucial decision, he has to gather this council and ask from them and take opinions. But it was not gathered for about 175 years from 1614, and they were not knowing about the customs and traditions that had to be followed in a gathering. And the priests and nobles did not like to be gathered with the common people, and the king agreed, and common people gathered to a nearby tennis court, indoor tennis court, and they made the famous tennis court agreement, and from there only they started the struggle. Nobles enjoying all the privileges and the unrest among the middle class as they did not receive political rights. What are the special privileges enjoyed by the nobles? Ability of hunting in any place. That means even destroying the farmlands of the common people, farmers. Obtaining taxes from common people. So they should not pay any taxes. Being exempted from paying taxes and expenses on unnecessary wars. However, priests and aristocrats were the privileged group in the French society. So these are political reasons. If you are given a question to write answers, that explain reasons that affected for the French Revolution under 2 or 3 headings. The first heading is political and social factors. Or political factors and social factors separately you can write. And then we'll come to economic factors. So what are the economic factors? Harassing taxation system. Common people had to pay 60% of their income as taxes. And these are the three taxes, three harassing taxes. What are three harassing taxes? Tail tax. What is the tail tax? A levy charge on houses and lands of the general public. This was different from area to area. Cities like Lyon and Paris were free of these taxes. Sometimes from the cities where rich people were living, they did not take any taxes, but the cities with the poor people had to pay taxes. Gabriel tax is the second type of tax. What is the Gabriel tax? This was the salt tax. Every adult had to buy 7 pounds of salt every year. This pound is heavier than a kilo. Now here we use kilos. No? Pound is something heavier than a kilo. So normally an adult cannot consume 7 pounds of salt annually. It's too much. But however, they had to buy. That income goes to where? To the government. For the production of salt, they were not spending any amount. The price of salt different from area to area. Transportation of salt was illegal. So this is the Gabriel tax. So what is the capitation tax? This was the body tax. And everyone has to pay this tax. So body tax. So these are the harassing three taxes. Okay, note down those three taxes. Okay, anything red color you have to write. Anything black color is there in the tube. And there are political philosophers. So three political philosophers came out, and they gave ideas. They gave their ideas supporting the common people. Okay, philosophical ideas. The first person was Montesquieu. In his book, The Spirit of Law, so there is the book written by him. He explained the harm in allowing one person to exercise the whole power of the nation. He told that entire power of the nation should not be given to one person, then he will become autocratic. He will not listen to the people. So this power should be divided as the legislature and parliament and the judiciary. And he should not enjoy all the judicial powers also. Voltaire, he explained the importance of expressing one's own ideas freely. Every person, even though a poor person, he should get a freedom of expressing his own ideas. So that's the idea of Voltaire. Their voice cannot be shut down. And the other person, Rousseau, and Rousseau told what? So Rousseau was telling, he presented the concept of the people's sovereignty through his book called The Social Contract. So what is the people's sovereignty? Ability of changing the government. Ability of kicking off a king if he's a corrupt person. So that should be there on people, not under the hands of the God. Okay, take it down quickly. So if you don't have the tune, but I told you that what you have to do, go to the website, download it, and that's it. If you can't do that, send me a WhatsApp message. I'll be sending you the tune, but not now because I have to do it from this laptop, and I have to do it later on. And I think you can get this recording. Recording is there in the website. By referring the recording, later on you can write the complete the notes. And now if you listen, you have to understand very well. So this is one of the main sections that may come. I think this time they will give you a question from French Revolution along with the world wars, because sometimes they blend the question with two lessons, world revolutions and world wars, and give you the question. If so, this is the question that is given, reasons for the French Revolution. So we'll see later on what was the past paper question that had been given from this one about the reasons and how the answer had been written. So along with the tune, I have just sent you the revision schedule and the structure of the paper. That means how the patients may be constructed. So from what lessons of grade 10 and what lessons of grade 11. So at the end of the due test there. And according to the question, we do the revision in the newly started fast track revision program within 5 months. We'll be discussing all the sections. So I told you at the beginning of the seminar, there are 8 questions that you have to write answers. Out of 8 questions, you are writing answers for 5, but you have to select. So you have to get ready for all these 8 questions, then selecting 5 questions. That is the best thing. Don't just leave any section, that will be dangerous. So here I have given you the structure of the questions given, and all these question-based revision will be done. So that means we will revise all these lessons once again, and we will discuss what are the possible questions, and we will discuss the answers, and even MCQs, even I say that questions, everything, and there will be a guidance how to write answers. There's a special method of writing answers. You can write answers by your own as you like. There's a special method, and there are some shortcuts to get maximum marks, full marks. So that should be, you should be guided in that. So without being guided by hearting everything, 2 books, 2 textbooks, you can't get an A pass. So if you are, unless you are a very good student, right? So very good students can do that. But if you are not that much, so you have to be guided to write answers successfully. Then the struggle, how it happened. Uprising was started on 14 July 1789. Tax reformations activated by the government in November. King gathered State General Council after 175 years. Nobles and the priests became against the suggestions of the middle class. Middle class members gathered to a nearby indoor tennis court. They made the famous oath in the tennis court. So from there only, now this you have to highlight, oath in the tennis court. So that's something important to remember. On 14 July 1789, the armed struggle started with the attack of Bastille prison. So in a normal class, normally this speed we don't follow. So here I have to discuss and finish this section only. I'm just going so fast. Otherwise, we will do a bit late and slowly. King Louis XVI could not control the situation, and he was fled. So before going to the results, we'll discuss some questions that can be given from this section, right? So here, this is 2017 question. Answer the questions 32 and 33 with reference to A and B given below. A is the oath in the tennis court. B is Sarajevo incident. Sarajevo incident is belonging to the first one. It is not belonging to French Revolution. Oath in the tennis court, we know that was the oath they made inside the indoor tennis court under the leadership of Mirabeau, to not to be departed until a new government is formed, until the king's government is collapsed. So what is the question here regarding the French Revolution? What is the answer? A and B are incorrect. Sorry, the answer is wrong. My answer A is correct, while B is incorrect. So this should go to this one. So the first answer, my answer is also wrong. Okay, so then answer is what I highlighted. So wrongly I have marked this answer. So what is the correct answer? A is correct, while B is incorrect. B is related to First World War, Sarajevo incident. So we will discuss that when dealing with the First World War. Oath in the tennis court is related to French Revolution, right? Second one, regarding World War I, now okay. A is incorrect, while B is correct. World War I. So that is the answer for the second one. So few MCQs have been given from this French Revolution. 2017, 2 questions have been given. 2019 question. What is the historical event which is related to oath in the tennis court? Now that's why I told you highlight. Oath in the tennis court is related to French Revolution. Oath in the tennis court is related to French Revolution. Now, this is a model question. Some information regarding the significant revolutions of the world are given below with reference to those answers, the question 52 and 53, right? Peace, land, and food. Actually, peace, land, and food, you can write if you want. This is the slogan of the Russian Revolution. Peace, land, and food. Now there were three categories of people in the Russian society. The common people, they wanted food, and the farmers, they wanted the land to cultivate. And there were soldiers, they did not have any peace. Always they were fighting with other nations, war. So they asked for peace. Soldiers asked for peace, farmers asked for land, common people asked for food. So this is the slogan of the Russian Revolution. We know State General Assembly is related to French Revolution. That was the council comprised of common people, nobles, priests, and other officials. That when a king is taking a crucial decision, this should be gathered. But from the time of King Louis XIV, this was not gathered. No representation, no tax. This is a slogan related to American War of Independence. Actually, in American War of Independence, what happened? British, they implemented taxes on American colonies. So, representatives of American colonies were not there in the British Parliament. Without any representative in the British Parliament, they told that you cannot implement taxes on us. Attack on Bastille prison is related to the French Revolution. We know that that is the first step that the French people had done in the struggle, attacking the Bastille prison. What is the Bastille prison? The prison that the king used to imprison political enemies, political opponents. So this is related to French Revolution. Then asking, what is the theme of the Russian Revolution? We know A is the theme of the Russian Revolution: peace, land, and food. And information regarding the independence struggle in America, we know the answer C. No representation, no king. Okay, those are some model questions. Now we'll see what are the essay type questions that can come. What are the reasons that affected for the birth of French Revolution? Now I'm going to just show you the method of writing answers. Actually, this method you have to follow. So this method you have to follow. Okay, give me 1 minute to get this. Okay, right? Here. Right. So I think you can hear me, right? Okay. So now here. So when writing answers, how you can write answers successfully for essay type question? Now this is such a question. So what is the question here? The question here, explain the reasons. Explain the reasons for the French Revolution under two headings, right? So when writing answers, normally this is a question you can obtain 5 marks. Normally 5 marks are given, so there is a maximum. So when you are writing the reasons for the French Revolution, we know that there are many reasons. So political reasons are there, economic reasons are there, and even social reasons are there. So you have to explain this one. So we take as the first heading, so political and social factors, because they are normally going along with political and social factors. Political and social factors. So that we take as one heading, under two headings, under two factors now. So that's how question is given in the history to write answers. So when you write this heading or the factor, you are given 1 mark. Now it's very easy to score this mark, right? So then you have to explain this under a paragraph. So you have to write a paragraph. Now you are writing what? To support these political and social factors, including about the King Louis XIV and his autocracy, and Louis XV, Louis XVI, Marie Antonio, and the social condition of people, and the luxurious life spent by these kings and the political structure about the nobles and priests and everything. So you are writing one summarized paragraph. When you are writing this paragraph relevant to this heading, you are given 1.5 marks. You are given 1.5 marks. Getting this mark is very easy. Getting 1.5 is not easy, but you have to write a paragraph. So then you are writing the second heading, but economic factors. So you are naming the factor, economic factors. So here when you are writing this heading, you are given another 1 more mark. So under 2 headings, you have to label the 2 headings. You are there to label the 2 reasons, 2 factors. So then, once again, you are writing a paragraph, including all that about the taxes, unnecessary taxes, unreasonable taxes like tail tax, gather tax, capitation tax, and the taxation policy, how farmers are paying taxes, how the priests and nobles were exempted from paying taxes. So then for that you are given once again 1.5. So that's how the 5 marks are given to you. Usually the students who are not guided with how to write answers, what they happen to them, they don't write this heading. Easy 2 marks will be lost. They write entire thing as one paragraph. Then the evaluator or the person who gives marks have to read and find out your factors, so that would not be happening. So that's why when you want to get 5 marks or 6 marks, normally in a question there are 4 sections, part 1, part 2, part 3, part 4, and these are 3 marks, 4 marks, 5 marks, 6 marks. These are easy 2 questions, only writing 3 words or 2 sentences, and you are getting 7 marks. These are explanatory questions. Explain, you have to explain under 2 headings and 3 headings. If this is under 3 headings you must write, and 3 paragraphs you must write. Then only the marks are given as 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1. So this guidance must be there. So in our classes, we will discuss all the possible questions, and even you are given the model answers, and then in the exam, you should not go to the exam and think what are the headings, because you know already the headings and the answer is there, and only that you have to take from the head and write. So here you see how that question can be written answer. I'm going to show you that answer. Show you that answer here. Through this one, right? Once again, see the answer. This you can write in this way. So see, autocracy of French monarchy, I have taken as the first heading. What are the reasons that affected for the birth of French Revolution? So I have taken as autocracy of French monarchy. See, I'm writing about King Louis XIV. So here actually I did not write about write on this as a paragraph, only as point form, but you must write as a paragraph. Point form is not expected. Now in the next example, I will show you how it is written as a point form, paragraph. King Louis XIV, he was an autocratic ruler who had centralized all legislative, executive, and judicial powers around him. Louis XIV was an autocratic king who misused judicial powers. He had arrested all his political opponents and political enemies and imprisoned in best prison. And you must write about his statements. I am the state, I am the kingdom, whatever anticipated by me is lawful. So explain this as a paragraph. And you must write about unnecessary expenditure, the luxurious life spent by the king by constructing the Versailles palace with very valuable creations. King Louis XV continued the same power. King Louis XVI was a lazy ruler who did not bring any reformations. He enjoyed all the privileges without thinking of French people, even at a tense situation. Blend this to a paragraph and write under this heading, Autocracy of French Monarchy. I have taken that as a separate heading. You can write political and social factors together. There's a liberal situation that freedom for you to write answers as you like, but it must be relevant to the question. In the marking scheme also, they are not giving specific answers. the student should write under this law. They say if the student had selected correct and relevant answer and explained it or supported it by using a paragraph, give marks. The people who give you marks are liberal and free. They can give you marks if you are writing relevant answers. Here, my work is introducing you the relevant answers. Okay, write this one in the tube, or if not, you just can note down or take down red color things. Later on, you can just write. If anyone wants this complete answer tune, even that I can give you. But the only thing that you have to ask from me to WhatsApp to send the completed note. No problem. I can send you the completed note with all these notes that I can do. So another information that the Express Revision program will be started from the month of December. That online class will be there from 8:30 to 10:30 today on Sundays, and the physical class will be there in Kolonam branch on Fridays from 3:30 to 5:30. So that's the physical. So I have given you the schedule. So our schedule will be released. Now the short that the structure I have given you, how we will do the revision. The days are not mentioned there. So days I can just give you with the days that I'm going to discuss those sections. And a flyer will be given to you, published. So according to that, you can join the classes. So my idea to get an A pass, you must be well guided. Otherwise, it will be harder. Even sometimes there are some talented students, they can get an A pass without a guidance, but it will be hard. Okay, so then easily you can get an A pass when you are guided very well. So this is still the time is there. Still it's not too late. Some people they come for all these things at the last moment in the 11th hour. So that will be too late. So the second heading I have taken social and economic factors. Now see, in that, under that, I have given you a paragraph to show you as an example. Okay. By the time of the revolution, there existed a feudal society in France. The feudal system was a monarchy that was run with the help of aristocrats who had captured land in masses. There were three social strata as priests, aristocrats, and common people. Priests and aristocrats enjoyed all the social benefits. Among the general public, there were three groups as middle class, farmers, and laborers. The middle class was a group who earned money by trade and business transactions, and the condition of them were better than farmers and laborers. Yet they did not have any political right. Aristocrats were enjoying privileges like the three privileges that I gave you. Now this is the third time that I'm just telling it, because through the presentation, through the note, and through the questions, right? So history can now normally maths you can do repeatedly doing sums. Then only you will remember. The history is also like that. Repetition must be there. When it is repeated and repeated and repeated, when you listen to it, hearing it, you can remember it. So that is the normal procedure that we follow. Always repeating and repeating, then only you can internalize that very well. And the privileges are ability of hunting in any place, obtaining taxes from common people, being exempted from paying taxes and expenses on unnecessary was less on that. That's wrong, something that I have. So cut this down, don't write. So if anyone could not write, no, I told you a little bit high speed I'm going here. Because of that, sometimes you may miss some notes, so don't be sad. So that completed note even I can send you when you if you request from me. And remember that even in a common normal class, normally we go a little bit slower than this because today we had to cover up this entire thing, and that's why going a bit fast. And the French treasury was completely bankrupt due to the excessive expenditure for luxurious lifestyle and for unnecessary. The inefficient taxation system too equals more than 60% of the income of common people had to be paid as taxes. Then you must learn about the three taxes: tail tax, gabelle tax, and the capitation tax. So what is the tail tax? The levy charged on houses and lands of this was different from area to area. Cities like Lyon and Paris were free from this tax. So I told you, only from the poor, that means middle people only they got these taxes, and the rich people were exempted. From the rich people, they were not obtaining any taxes, like from the landowners and the priests. Gabelle tax was the salt tax. Every adult had to buy 7 pounds of salt every year. The price of salt different from area to area. Transportation of salt was illegal. So there are problems because of this illegal transactions, transportation. Some people on the slide they tried to transport salt, so that became a problem. So if you want to send me a WhatsApp, I'll give you my number. My number is 071 84 35 399. 071 84 35 399. 071 84 35 399. So that's my WhatsApp number. If you want, you can just send me a message asking for this note, and the recording is there in the website. Once again, 071 84 35 399. Okay, so the next tax is capitation taxes. This was the body tax, and everybody has to pay this tax. Okay, so I will be sending you this note by tomorrow morning if anyone wants this, right? So if anyone wants this, the completed note, please send me a WhatsApp message asking for the completed note with the answers, right? Once again, my number is WhatsApp number 071 84 35 399. But by tomorrow morning, I am sending. Okay, then see. Right. So these are once again past paper questions. So big question. We'll see what were the past paper big questions, right? Name this is 2016 question. Name 3 philosophers who expressed ideas that helped the French Revolution. So you know the answer: Montesquieu, Voltaire, and Rousseau. Montesquieu, Voltaire, and Rousseau. So they were the 3 philosophers. They gave some ideas and that supported the farmers and the laborers to struggle against the government, right? Montesquieu told about the autocracy of the king. So he told that all the powers should not be given to one person. Voltaire told about that the freedom of speech. Rousseau told that people should have the power to remove any corrupt king. Right. So the word answers to the information given in ABCD. The ruler of France during the French Revolution, we know that King Louis XVI. During King Louis XIV, only the background was stated, but during King Louis XVI only. The starter, so there were ABCD questions, what I answered all the questions related to French Revolution and given. And briefly discussed to make changes occurred in France after French Revolution. So that is about what results. Now we'll go to the results of French Revolution and then we'll come back to this question, right? So where are the results? Now the results I have mentioned here. The struggle we discussed, and these are the results. What are the results? King and the queen were fled. They were captured and given death penalty. Introduction of Human Rights Declaration in 1791. So after the struggle, they have declared Human Rights Declaration. The first Human Rights Declaration in the world. So that means what? The first declaration, first Human Rights Declaration. So they declare human rights. So every person who was born free must have equal rights. Like, okay. And French farmers received relief. French monarchy had been collapsed already, and political instability had been emerged, and Napoleon Bonaparte, a commander, had captured the power of the country. So once again, an autocratic ruler captured the power, because sometimes too much of democracy cannot be enjoyed by people, then it becomes a kind of bad situation, right? Now, what is the question given? Model, no, not the model, the past question given from the results. Now, see, this is the question. Briefly discuss two main changes occurred in France after French Revolution. Now, see, when writing an answer for such a question, you have to select here important headings. So you have to name. Now, when normally, what you do here, out of all the results, you will think what is important. If you can select an important result here, you just take that and write under that. If you can't select an important factor from here, what you do? You just make a heading and write. When selecting and making headings, please select a heading or a reason that you can explain a lot. At least in your paragraph, there must be 10 to 12 lines, otherwise you cannot get these 1.5 marks. So your explanation must be so well. That means by explaining with 2-3 lines is not good. You can't get the maximum marks. When explaining a paragraph with 10 to 12 lines, then only you can get maximum full marks, right? Okay, now see here. Emergence of an interest on human rights. So now I have taken human rights as the main factor. Emergence of an interest on human rights, and farmers and laborers receiving relief. So that is my area. So I have combined two things and had done this. I made it by combining two reasons. The French, now see the paragraph must be like this. The French Revolution was a struggle against the corrupt monarchy in France. After the revolution, or there arose an interest on human rights, not only in France, even all over the world. Now see, when you are writing an answer, some students are doing some wrong things. They write unnecessary facts. When you write unnecessary facts in an answer, what will happen? You cannot write complete answering on time, and sometimes you are leaving one question or more. That's disadvantage. So you're losing marks. The person who wanted to get A receives B. So unnecessary factors you should not include in an answer. There is a method of writing this answer. So you can divide the answer into 3 sections like introduction and the reasons and the factors. That is examples. So in every answer there must be those things. So when we are writing answers in the paper class and express revision program, I'm guiding you how to write such answers, complete successful answers, including everything without writing unnecessary things. Otherwise, sometimes you're writing very heavy answers with unnecessary factors, then that is a waste of time and your even effort. You should not. Now see here in this answer, this is the introduction. We are introducing the French Revolution was a struggle against the corrupt monarchy in France. Okay. So in the paper class also we will do like this. And we are showing how to write answers. Even for these 8 questions, I am going to give you 8 tunes. By referring the tune, in the tune there's a short note. There are possible questions, there are past paper questions, and everything is there. Blended something. So when you read that the tune, you're okay with that question. Okay. After the revolution, there arose an interest on human rights, or not only now. This is the explanation. Okay. It explained that the fundamental human rights are rights that the people are born with and not something that is given by the rulers. So the fundamental human rights are not given by rulers. They are born with that. Some concepts mentioned in the convention are every human being should have equal rights because everybody is born a free individual. Every citizen has a right to be a part of ecosystem. Every citizen should have the right to express their ideas freely and follow any religion they like. So, like that Voltaire. So, some of the ideas of Voltaire. Okay. The three concepts of freedom, equality, and brotherhood, which were the main slogans of the French Revolution, had high regard in the three quotations of the above mentioned human rights. The social inequality in France had been banished by including fundamental human rights to the constitution, so that the relief was given to farmers and laborers. So this is a blended paragraph that supports the heading. So your paragraph must be relevant to this heading. If you're writing a heading like this and writing an unnecessary, irrelevant paragraph, once again you are not given marks. The paragraph must be supporting the heading. It should be relevant to the heading. Okay. So remember that. Be careful. So that's why some talented students, very good students who had got ready, even they are getting B passes. Why? Their answers are not guided well. Their answers are not relevant. They write more and more, but unnecessary factors they are writing. Waste of time, waste of your effort, and even receiving a lower grade. To get a higher grade with less effort, you must be guided well, otherwise you can't. Otherwise, you have to use the time and effort that you can put on the subjects like science and maths. You are putting on history, no need. We have another small time, so because I'm rushing, right? So the second heading is collapse of the French monarchy and emergence of the political instability. At the last moment, what happened? The army general he captured the power of political instability. But the French monarchy collapsed. The kingdom of Bourbon monarchy. The last King Louis XVI, he was imprisoned. Later on, he was killed. The French Revolution was a struggle against the corrupt monarchy. After the revolution, the French monarchy had been downfallen and a new democratic rule had been started. For anyone who needs my number, once again, WhatsApp number 071 84 35 399. Okay, but France as a country that had been experiencing a tough monarchical rule could not enjoy the democracy for a long time. Governments changed in quick succession after the revolution, creating a political instability. This is because of the different ideas of those who had the revolution, who led the revolution. They had different ideas and beliefs. This situation lasted for a political instability. Because of this unstable situation, Napoleon Bonaparte, an army officer, captured power in France in 1799. After that, it was a completely new political system that existed in France. And remember, this is a past paper question and a model answer written for that. So this will not be the most successful answer written for that question, but a model question that you can score, model answer that you can score very high. See, 2018 question. Briefly extend to economic factors that contributed for the French Revolution. Collapse of French treasury and economic problems experienced by France. Inequality of the economic rights of France. So this is one such answer that I have given for 2018 question. Okay, now see that answer. French population consisted of mainly three groups as priests, aristocrats, and common people. Aristocrats and priests were exempted from paying taxes, while common people had to pay a lot of taxes. Two economic factors, right? To the government, church, and aristocrats, they were facing to a huge tax burden. This shows the inequality of tax payment in French society. Common people were consisted of middle class farmers and laborers. The middle class was consisted with traders and industrialists. The living condition was far better than farmers and laborers. They had the economic ability of paying taxes, but farmers and laborers were severely affected by increasing tax burden. So that farmers and laborers were the major groups who led the struggle against the corrupt monarchy as they were economically affected. Land tax called tail tax was not charged from the main cities like Lyon and Paris. The Irish were living, but it was obtained from smaller cities that show the inequality of economic rise of French. So see 2018 question. All other question. A model answer here. Collapse of the French treasury and economic problems experienced by France, that answer I have not given here because already we wrote some answers like that. And after this, I want to show you that this one. Now, this I have given for 2021 problem. Okay, so don't take these dates for that. Here, second question. It is related to grade 10, first and second lessons. Third question normally given from the third and fourth lessons of grade 10. Fourth question is normally given from fifth and sixth lessons of grade 10. Fifth question is given from 7 and 8 lessons of grade 10. Now see, Sri Lankan history, 4 questions are given from grade 10, not 11. Okay. And here, sixth question, 10, 11, 11. So that means 10th question of lesson of grade 10 and second and third lessons of grade 11. Seventh question, fourth and fifth and sixth lessons of grade 11. From grade 11, only 2 questions are given. Sri Lankan history. You have to select 4 questions. So if you have studied only grade 10, you can get full marks, 4 questions. In the world history, 8 question, as I explained here, Renaissance, 9th lesson of grade 10, Industrial Revolution, first lesson of grade 11, 8th question. 9th question, 7th and 8th lessons of grade 11. Significant revolutions that we have explained today, one part of that, and world wars and conventions. Okay, so this is how the structure of the question paper. In our express revision program, we discuss according to question base. I told you for every question we will be giving short notes, model questions, possible questions, past questions with answers, and make you ready for the question. Guide very well guided. So today was time only a few things to be done. So that is what only that actually only that we did what just an introduction. Okay. So once again, I'll give you my number. If anyone wanted to just get any completed notes, so you can just send me. Okay. Right. Okay. So, however, remember that this note also I can send you that with completed. Right. I have sent you as a message my number. Right. 071 84 35 399. So that is to ask for any this completed notes, right? Okay. So and then now, however, French Revolution we finished. So in this section, Russian Revolution is also important. American War of Independence, still they have not given. Sometimes that may be given. Right. So, however, other side now, this is about world history. So world wars is another section that is normally given with blending with this section. So sometimes you may get a question from the French Revolution and world wars, second world war. So this time, so we can't say. However, when it comes near to the exam, like we can say what questions may come. And Sri Lankan history is something else, especially grade 10 you have forgotten now, so you have to get ready for grade 10. So now you have enough time, like 5 months, like so quickly we can revise everything and make you ready for the exam, right? So I think this is from here we have to stop the seminar because the time has passed now, only 10 minutes are there. So if you have any questions, so just you can send me as a question. Right, or chat like, right? Okay, so yes, even grade 10 classes and 11 classes are there. Even in both grand pass and colon now you can come to classes, right? Right. Okay. But however, I think that you will join for this class and get the maximum benefit. So if anyone is there that you have not got ready for anything, so even though, so for such people, this would be so advantageous because I can guide you within these 5 months to get an A pass. That is easy. Okay, right. So then I will finishing the seminar. Thank you for joining the seminar, and God bless and good night. So asking that what lessons are going on. Grade 10 already now going to finish the syllabus here. And 11, still we are in the last two lessons. That means world revolutions and world wars. But the most advantageous thing is joining a paper class or express revision program than joining theory classes now, because it's too late now for theory. Okay, good evening and God bless. Okay, bye and good night.